Ja, så där ser målet på Anfield ut. Anfield är fotbollsstadion i Liverpool. Och över entrén till Anfield så står det "You'll never walk alone", du vandrar aldrig ensam. Och det är Liverpoolbornas sista hälsning till de 95 som omkom i den hemska olyckan på fotbollsstadion i Sheffield för 5 dagar sedan, då vakterna inte vågade annat än öppna grindarna för de som trängde på mot ståplatsläktaren, med de fasansfulla konsekvenser som det fick inne på ståplats i Sheffields fotbollsstadion. Engelsk fotboll har ju några gånger på senare år kommit att förknippas närmast med någon slags oerhört hemska gladiatorspel där publiken är själva gladiatorerna. Och det är nästan alltid ståplatsläktarnas folk som då offras, som har omkommit i ett par otäcka upplopp på olika fotbollsarenor både i och utanför England. Ståplatsläktarnas folk som ofta kommer ifrån de fattiga engelska storstädernas allra fattigaste stadsdelar, ifrån den engelska storstadsslummen. Liverpool är en sån här fattig engelsk storstad, om man nu kan kalla det storstad. För 50 år sedan så bodde det 900 000 människor nästan i Liverpool. Idag är det bara hälften, 450 000 människor finns kvar. Och ändå så finns det ett bostadsproblem, men inte riktigt av det vanliga slaget. Problemet är inte brist på bostäder, utan att det står så många hus tomma i den en gång så stolta engelska hamnstaden Liverpool.
Människorna strömmar ut från minnesgudstjänsten i katolska domkyrkan i Liverpool dagen efter katastrofen på fotbollsarenan i Sheffield.
Football rivalry was forgotten. It was just complete sadness. Unbelievable. Almost a nightmare that you'd had a very bad dream and you hadn't woken up. And big strong men were all crying the tears, and the Salvation Army came along and they were playing all the hymns. The whole cop end was decked out with wreaths, colours of all supporters, and letters from Evertonians, Halifax, Sheffield supporters, every supporter. Rivalry was forgotten today. They were just all one in grief, and it was like walking around the cemetery.
Anfield Road, Liverpool-lagets hemmaarena. Dagarna efter olyckan kom över 100 000 människor hit för att visa sin sorg. Målområdet framför ståplatsläktaren The Cop. Nästan lika många minnesgåvor i den lokala konkurrenten Evertons blå färg som i Liverpools röda. Inne på stadion finns Liverpools katolska ärkebiskop.
What does football mean to Liverpool? Oh, it's in their blood. Tremendous pride in both the Liverpool sides, Liverpool club itself and the Everton side. And it's so much part of the life of the young people that when something touches football, it touches the life of Liverpool itself. I often say that Liverpool has an uncrushable spirit. It's sustained blow after blow and has always survived and somehow come up smiling. The cop that I'm looking across to at the moment, where the terraces, where the young people stand and sing their songs, is, we often say, it almost has a liturgical worship of its own. It swings and sways dangerously, as we would say. Interestingly, one of the boys who was injured yesterday said to me, gave me the thumbs up and said, I'll be back in the cop soon. But the boy in the next bed said, not until they put seats there.
Croxteth, en av de mest nedgångna områdena i Liverpool. I stans östra utkant, i närheten av en motorväg. Höghus byggda under 60- och 70-talen. Arbetslöshet, drogmissbruk. En av de som aldrig haft ett jobb är Jerry Rimner, 25 år gammal.
This is the worst part.
How do you notice that?
Because it's in all the papers, it's in every newspaper. You ask anybody about Croxteth, Croxteth is the worst part.
What does it mean for ordinary people here?
But don't forget, Croxteth, this area now has 96% youth unemployment. It has the highest one-parent families in Western Europe as well, this area. This estate what you're on. 96% unemployment. Well, what's here? It's only houses. There's no factories, there's no facilities for the people. Just houses, house flats. There's nothing for the people, is there? Yeah. None of my friends, we've never worked. We've never ever worked. I'm 25, I've never ever had a job. No, never ever had a job.
And you lived here all the time?
Yeah, none of my friends have ever had a job. Never ever.
How do you spend the days?
I can't say.
Just tell me something.
You have to spend your day trying to go out and get money, don't you? You have to live. We have a pretty good standard of life without working. You know what I mean?
How?
I mean, look. I'm not skint. You never see anything. Everybody around here has money, you know me. Listen, when you have nothing all your life, you learn how to get things. You've got to learn how to get things. You've got to learn how to get back.
Become adventurous.
You've got to learn. But round here, there's very little crime round here. Because people don't steal off people who's got nothing. There's very little crime.
But they say the old people here are afraid.
Only drugs. Nobody gets mugged. No muggins here. There's no muggins in Croxteth.
Utanför butiken berättar Jerry vad han egentligen lever av. Inbrott och heroinlangning. What's your relationship with the authorities?
In what way?
Well,
good or bad, you mean?
do you have any...
See, the authorities know we're not bad people. They know we're not bad people. But they know we've got to do illegal things if we want to do anything in life. If we want to do anything besides sit in a chair all our life, we've got to do things what authorities don't like. That's why Liverpool has such a big police.
What you're saying
That's why drugs are such a big problem on the state as well, because nobody works, so they've got all day, every day to fill in. Every hour they've got to occupy. Where when you work, half your day is took up working, half your day is took up sleeping. But when you don't work, that's why drugs are such a big problem as well.
Höghusen i Croxteth ska rivas. Det har de styrande i Liverpool bestämt. Men allt går sakta. Det saknas pengar. Förr var det ett område som folk trivdes i. Nu är förslumningen total.
The only thing I've got against it is these people that move into these flats, these young ones, which they don't care. They just let it deteriorate. And then you've got smackheads moving into it. The corporations know about this. And yet they allow these people to go in these places. But the corporation know about these people. Because they've been reported to the corporation, they're reported to the police.
But
You're classing you doing a police job for them. You phone the police up and tell them, oh yeah, a lot of them are squatting. You phone the police and they just say, you take the phone number of the car. That's not your job, that's their job. You're reporting it, aren't you?
But why doesn't young people care?
I just don't know. I just don't know.
What went wrong?
I just couldn't tell you. Honestly, I don't.
I don't know.
And when we were young, it was never like that.
When I was young, I could walk into one job, out of one job and into another, but you can't do
that now. You can't even get a job.
It's unemployment.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, it's unemployment. Yeah. That's where you get your vandalism, that's where you get them going out robbing people, old people, knocking people about. That's what it's all down to.
Rowland Heights i Croxted. För några år sedan bodde över 100 familjer i huset. Idag finns det 13 hyresgäster kvar och ett okänt antal knarkare som ockuperat de tomma lägenheterna. Henry Marston är en av hyresgästerna. När han flyttade in för 21 år sedan var huset nytt.
Everybody liked this, but the vandals got in. We had intercoms there, you can see them on the wall. We had the door and everything, and at the back we had everything, what you've just been round now. Well, they pulled them, finished them up, smashed all the intercom here, punched the door off. And look at the state of it. And they expect people to live in them. Oh, you've only got to go inside now and look at all the smashed glass, smashed the lights on the ceiling. That's football and everything here round here.
När Henry Marston flyttade in hade han tänkt bo i huset resten av sitt liv. When did all this happen to the...
Oh, it might be probably 6 years ago. They started deteriorating. When people started leaving, the place got deteriorated. They never got repaired or anything. So they just... Everybody was coming. I mean, I just showed you now all that gang that's going. Yeah, that's what you've got to put up with overnight, you know. And druggies on the floor. Coming in here overnight. Oh, are you?
Are you afraid of...
I'm not afraid, but still. I mean, they say, you've got to be truthful, haven't you? In a way, I am afraid. It's night time is the worst. That's true, you don't care in the daytime. It's the night time is the worst part of the lot. Yeah. You never know when they're going to burst you. As I told you, that chap was in my place having a drink of tea. And we heard banging upstairs, and he said, and he went up. And they cut half of the front door off with a saw. So what can you do?
Nu har han bara en önskan kvar. Att få komma bort härifrån så fort som möjligt. Netherley. Här bodde en gång 5 000 människor. De första hyresgästerna flyttade in 1970. För 4 år sedan var bostadsområdet helt öde. You used to live here some years ago.
Yeah, in 1975 that was.
Where did you live?
Just that third house along there. For about 2 years that was.
Can we go inside and look?
Yeah, we'll take a walk over.
Mark Gill hjälpte oss in i det avspärrade Netherley. Än idag förstår han inte riktigt vad som hände med det som en gång var hans hem.
It's terrible. It's one of the worst places in Liverpool. It's just like, you can't believe like it's just happened like this. It looks like a bomb's gone off there. In nearly every flat.
What will happen with these houses?
They're supposed to be getting left up for quite a long time, I've heard. Because they even can't afford to knock them down. They haven't got the money to knock these flats down. As I say, one of the worst things about the flats is that nearly every one of them is damp. I know waste of time like wallpaper and that. Because the wallpaper just peel off with the dampness and it just wasn't right for no children.
Människorna som flyttade in i Netherley kom från nedgångna områden i centrala Liverpool. De var fattiga, många var arbetslösa eller blev arbetslösa sedan de flyttat hit. När Mark Gill bodde här var han barn, nu är han 22 år och arbetslös. What do you do in daytime?
walked around some days, just looking for work, inquiring at various places, firms and that, asking and picking application forms up. And some days you don't get up till quite late, so most of the day is gone. So it's quite boring, very boring most of the time.
Many unemployed goes for the bottle and takes drugs.
Yeah, that is common now. Drugs, drink. It gets you down, like, but just gotta hope that you get a job one day. It doesn't look too good at the moment.
Do you see a future here in Liverpool? Can it be worse?
Possibly, but I don't think that much. It'll be a very long time. Maybe my children, but not me while I'm still young.
Vivian DeLacy, 21 år, jobbar i Albert Dock, nyrenoverade gamla magasinsbyggnader runt en av Liverpools många hamnbassänger. Hon marknadsför lokalerna i Albert Dock, dit man vill ha exklusiva butiker och kontor.
Do you think Liverpool will get a good reputation? When? Will it ever? When and how?
I think we're getting there. The Albert Dock certainly helps. It brings a lot of tourism into Liverpool, brings a lot of money into Liverpool. It helps generally. I mean, obviously, the more tourists that are coming here, the more money that's coming here, the more jobs that are going to be gained from it. And so everything's going to, therefore, prosper from there on. But it's going to take some time before people's attitudes start changing towards Liverpool.
Vivians pappa är småföretagare. Föräldrarna bor i ett välbärgat område i stans utkant.
I think your family is the most important because they're the ones that have to either push you. Obviously, you tend to sort of go the way your family's brought you up. I will probably bring my children up the way they've brought me up. Like if I said to my mum, I want to go for an interview, it's, you know, have you got the nice shoes, have you got the clothes, you know, and if not, well, you know, we'll have to get you a new suit or something. That they've got to be there behind you all the time, which I think is important, because obviously if you've got parents that aren't bothered, then obviously you're not going to be bothered. You've got no one to impress.
Hamnbassängerna, the docks, är nödvändiga för att fartyg ska kunna lasta och lossa oberoende av den stora nivåskillnaden mellan ebb och flod. Liverpool var en gång Englands port mot väster, en av Europas stora hamnar. Nu kantas Merseyflodens mynning av kilometerlånga förfallna dockor och magasinsbyggnader.
Liverpool is in the wrong side of the country for the continent of Europe, unless as a result of the Channel Tunnel, and there can be a real land bridge up here. That is the real difficulty in terms of prosperity. But in the last year or so, there has been an improvement in the industrial situation here, a slight reduction in the employment figures, the unemployment figures, and our main problem has been a steady decline due to the fact that the port, the passenger traffic which used to come to Liverpool, was almost the raison d'etre for Liverpool, has come to an end. We have very high unemployment, but with that, inevitably, our young people are being drawn away from the city. They're being encouraged to go to work in the southeast of the country, and the danger is that we become a kind of city of the left behind with a disproportionate number of geriatrics.
Labourpartiet har alltid dominerat Liverpools politiska liv. I början av 80-talet tog de styrande i staden strid mot Margaret Thatcher, lånade upp pengar och åstadkom ett jättelikt budgetunderskott mot regeringens direktiv. Liverpool höll på att bli den första staden som gick i konkurs. Alla utrymda hus som står kvar i stan är helt enkelt ett uttryck för att man inte har råd att riva. Granne med armodet finns också i Liverpool, välståndet. Hundarna som vaktar lyxvillorna. Privatskolorna.
No. And this lady will tell you Penny Lane's not what it used to be, is it? Oh, this is my next door neighbour. Yeah.
No.
Yes. No, nothing at all.
What is different?
Well, I don't know, really. For one thing,
It's deteriorated.
It's deteriorated.
That's the word.
Deteriorated, yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
What does the Beatles mean to you?
Not much really. It's just a band from Liverpool. You know, I mean, I like them.
But you live on Penny Lane?
Yeah, just off it. You know, get a lot of tourists and everything. You know, saying like they don't think it's a real road. You know, and they come and like they see it and they just can't believe that it's a real street and it's really here and everything.
Liverpool is slandered with an awful lot of propaganda about their aggressiveness, their nastiness, their laziness, when in actual fact they're not. They are just determined to see things work, and they will not be victimised in any way. And that is what makes the people more stronger in fighting for their rights, for work and everything. But they're not accepted anywhere. It's always, as soon as you mention Liverpool, they become frightened of you. As soon as they hear the Liverpool accent, they're frightened of you because you're automatically tarred with the same brush that you are aggressive and that you are angry and that you're lazy. But we're not. Times have been better in Liverpool, and it's been the business people and the industry who has creamed it, milked it, and then got out. And then left us to fend with the rest of it.
Han är gift och har 4 vuxna barn. Han äger sitt hus. Han har levt ett bra liv i Liverpool. You've been guiding us around Liverpool for 3 days. Do you think we get the right angle, the right view of Liverpool?
Well, you've seen 2 parts of Liverpool. You have seen. I've taken you around to parts of Liverpool very severe depravity. We have. I don't know if you know that. Understand? Depravity is very. Unemployment in Liverpool, I've shown you where it's 20%, and I've taken you the parts in Liverpool that are very rich. You see, I've seen 2 parts of Liverpool. You've come to my house, now you've seen the middle class of Liverpool. The low parts of Liverpool is, I do not know nothing much about drugs. I know there is drugs and they have problems. And the police are trying to stamp it out, but it is a very severe problem, drugs in Liverpool.
But you work as a taxi driver, then you must see a lot of...
I see a lot of it, but I close my eyes because I don't want to get involved in it. I don't smoke, I don't drink. I don't gamble except on very big occasions, you know, big national occasions. You met a gentleman yesterday who spoke that he was in jail for so long, and he said he could take you to certain places, He had more clothes, he had better clothes to wear on him. He was wearing suede jacket and £30 for jeans and trousers and shirt, which I could not afford because he was on drugs. He said he could supply drugs. He's wearing dark glasses, which cost probably £20–25, sunglasses. I can't afford that. Drugs.
You get angry when you see it.
I get angry that he is unemployed. He's possibly getting about £40 a week from the state government, £40 a week. He's getting £40 a week. And he is in drugs. Why must the government give him that money?
What does football mean to Liverpoolian?
Everything. It's our religion. No, sometimes, but not for a proper team. It's our religion. Football is our religion. Football is everything. Yeah. Everything. Football is everything. Everything.
To me, football is something I've watched for the semi-finals or the finals. I don't watch it regularly. I don't understand all the score points. I don't understand all the different cups that can be gained. But to a lot of people, it's an awful lot. It's not just their hobby. Sometimes it's their way of living. I mean, I know boys that go to football every Saturday. That's their way of life.
Primarily, I think Liverpool in the last few years has only had a bad reputation because of soccer violence, because of football and sport. That is all. But I think you have it in every city.
I'm not really, I wouldn't class myself as a fanatic myself. There's other people who I'd ask that question to. But like, I do like the game and that. But a lot of people are obsessed with football. It's all that matters to them. And
is it a way to forget your own trouble?
it's probably when they're at the match and they start shouting and screaming and that, which they do. It's probably taking a bit of the anger out, which they build up through the week. People who have problems and that, unemployment and living in bad houses. Like, there's a lot of anger in them. It's just, possibly it is something like that.
They can get the anger out of their body.
Because there's a lot of noise at a football match. A lot of screaming and swearing, and it's probably the best place to let your anger out.
Liverpool, där fotbollen är en livsstil, dessvärre ibland också en farlig livsstil. Magasinet Torsdag är slut. På tisdag nästa vecka är vi tillbaka igen. God afton.